Today we'll be looking at the artist Claire Young's. She creates animals using collage and lots of patterns. Today we'll be focusing on a fox. I'll be using lots of supplies like a brown paper bag, oil pastels, paint, and things to print with. Once you've cut your bag in half, save your extra pieces for the arms, legs, ears, all that good stuff. To make the body of the fox, draw a rectangle. Don't worry if you make the rectangle too long right now. You can always cut it down to fit the size that you need later on. Now that we've cut out the body, it's time to use the rest of the paper bag to create the head. I'm using one end of the rectangle and my pencil to draw a straight line. This way I know how big to make my fox's head. Use an upside down triangle to make the main part of the fox's head. For the whiskers, add triangles to the side of the upside down triangle. When you're cutting out the fox's head, cut around the entire piece. Do not cut 3 individual triangles. If there's printing on the back of the paper, you can always erase the lines and cover them up with color. Now it's time to focus on the fox's tail. Again, using the rectangle that we created for the body of the fox, you can use this to help guide where and how big you should make your tail. Always best to make your end pieces a little bit bigger than you think. That way, when you attach them, they stay much better. If you cut pieces too thin, sometimes they're flimsy and they don't stay very well. Now you can start fitting the pieces together and watch your fox start to come to life. Now let's work on the fox's ears. Cutting some extra paper, fold it in half like a book. This way you only have to draw once and cut once to have 2 ears. Before you cut, sometimes you can use the head as a way to help you know how big to make the triangles. Just like we did tracing the ends for the fox body for how big to make the head and the tail, you can trace the top to see how big you need to make the ears. Remember, when you're cutting, keep your paper folded. That way you will have 2 ears. With an extra piece of brown paper bag, let's start with the legs. Again, fold in half. This way you only have to draw once and cut once. Position your extra piece of paper where you would like your feet to go and see how long you'd like them to be. I'm using a triangle for the front legs. Again, I'm keeping my paper folded. This way I only have to cut and draw once. Since I drew on the fold, I can cut there in the middle, and now I have 2 triangle legs for my fox. I can use this same piece of paper for the back legs. Place one of the back legs on the underneath side of the rectangle and the other on top. With leftover paper, you can decide what kind of eyes you would like to add. You could cut out circles, or you could make more football-shaped eyes. The choice is up to you. And there you have it, a collage fox ready for you to add color and pattern. Here's my finished fox. I used bubble wrap and painted on top and used it as a printing tool. I also used a toilet paper roll and put paint on one end and used that as a stamp. You can use lots of things like oil pastels to create extra patterns and texture. Now, you don't have to use a brown paper bag for this. You can use paper and draw on a single sheet. You can use construction paper. The choice is yours. Have fun!